you are in court because your attorney is late.
Okay, so we only take a record in this court when the judge tells you to. Is this a tactic on the court's part to attempt to wear out the defendant so they can't access their right to trial?
Oh. Stop interrupting me.
Well, we're not on the record.
Stop interrupting me.
Right? I mean, we're not in court.
Stop interrupting me.
I mean, that's the reason I don't come to your court at 9, because I know in another court, sir, here's your answer.
All right, folks. Today's courtroom drama doesn't feature a reckless defendant. It stars a fully suited lawyer who just won't stop talking. Judge Boyd, known for keeping her cool, starts unraveling the moment this guy opens his mouth. And honestly, can't blame her. Lawyers are supposed to bring order, not chaos, but this one brought a full-on fireworks display. Let's break down this disaster as Judge Boyd serves up a much-needed dose of courtroom reality.
All right, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked everybody else. Has McDonald's discovered been done with drop cabinet in the trial?
I have signed a few of them at this point.
All right, so has there been any new discovery?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, so you can make sure that there's always a discovery the state actually has inside the court trial, and obviously it's on its own. So I'm going to have y'all come back tomorrow. You're not number one on the docket.
Okay.
There are a couple of cases that are heavy, so those cases may end up going 4 years. We'll just see where we are. Okay.
That's correct. Respectfully, Your Honor, Mr. Rios always appears, always waits all day. This is impacting his employment. We would ask that if we're not likely to be called upon, we be released. Additionally, I have experts for this trial that we have attempted to bring in, but we never know, and because the case is older now, when we should bring those experts in. So I'm going to have to approach the court and request additional funds for those experts if we're reset. So I would ask the court either to give us some preference tomorrow for trial. We can't do that to release Mr. Rios so that he can go to work.
All right. We hear exactly what I'm
Okay. Yes.
All right. We hear exactly what I'm
Understand? Now, Your Honor, respectfully, every time we come to court, we lose an entire day of work ourselves, too. This is not typical of most of the courts in this county.
Oh, yeah, it is very typical.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
You can say that, Judge, but I practice in the courts.
And it very is typical. Because every attorney that's here has a case that's set for jury trial. And this is what ends up happening.
What ends up happening is I will allow people to go to civil cases to be out of county, and then their client is sitting here waiting for them. And for some reason, that's the court's fault. That's not the court's fault when attorneys are not showing up at 9 or whatever, and then they stroll in at 9:30 or 9:45. So what I'm telling you all, 9:30. See y'all at 9:30. Thank you. Coordinator will give you a reset form.
Understood. Your Honor,
All right,
I'm
thank
trying to
you.
make a record. I don't see the court reporter typing. Okay, so we only take a record in this court when the judge tells you to. The case was called.
No, the case wasn't called. When I call the case, I call it by the style of the case. All right? All right, so I'll see y'all at 9:30.
Judge, I have to ask you, is this a tactic on the court's part to attempt to wear out the defendant so they can't act?
What is this guy even on about? The judge clearly tells him to come back at 9:30 a.m., and instead of just walking away, he spins around and accuses the court of trying to wear down his client. Sir, the only one exhausting your client is you. He's running verbal marathons with zero direction, and honestly, it feels like he's got some weird personal grudge against Judge Boyd. She's usually one of the most patient judges out there, but even she has limits, and trust me, we're about to see them.
I find that very inappropriate to say when there is no proof and people are just throwing things out. Now, what I can tell you, and I'm sure your client is aware, sometimes when we end up coming to court, we come to court because there are discovery issues. Sometimes when you're in court, you are in court because your attorney is late. And when I say late, I mean that when a case is scheduled in this court and it's scheduled for 9 a.m. and attorneys go to different courts because they want to go to different courts first, it is not the court's fault that you're sitting here for 12 o'clock or 1:30 or coming back over break. Number one, I have a lunch break. And there was a point in time where I would not take a lunch break. And the reason why I wouldn't take a lunch break is because I said, you know what? I've been a defense attorney. And when I was a defense attorney, what I would always do, I'm like, I have to be in like 5 courts. It would be nice if a court, if they could stagger their docket. And so sometimes I would be here, we wouldn't have a lunch break, and I would be here till 3 o'clock. And then you know what I discovered? When I would say that I want to be here till 3 o'clock, I'm working through lunch, other attorneys, you know what they would end up doing? Then they wouldn't show up in the morning. They would just show up at 1:30 or whatever, because they're like, oh, the judge is going to stay there. So I stopped doing that because I need a lunch break. And that's what happens.
So then my other question, I guess, is if you're not doing this to cause the hardship, it obviously causes all of the attorneys and the truth. Are you doing this for the YouTube? Because we don't have a record, right? Except for the YouTube.
Yes, here's the thing. You're going to be back tomorrow at 9:30. You understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. And once you sign the reset form, you'll be here tomorrow. If somebody goes before you, somebody goes before you. Your counsel is well aware, or should be well aware, if he's been practicing in Bexar County,
Almost
that
20
there
years.
are
3. This man has been a lawyer in the county for nearly 20 years, yet he's still acting like some sketchy last-minute public defender. And get this, he has the nerve to accuse Judge Boyd of using her courtroom live stream to make money. Seriously, she uses it for transparency, not clout chasing. This isn't some reaction channel, it's her job. Either he's trying to trigger her on purpose, or he genuinely believes this nonsense. And to the poor defendant sitting there, blink twice if your attorney is the real threat.
on the docket for jury trial. So, for example, I had approximately 40 cases down for jury trial today. And what ends up happening, sometimes people who are in custody take precedent because their cases are older
I'm
than
asking
yours.
for a record.
You understand? Because they're older than yours. So that's what happens. So then what
When
ends
you're
up
being
happening,
paid, there should be a record, right?
excuse me, stop interrupting me.
Well, we're not on the record,
Stop interrupting me.
right? I mean, we're not in
Stop
court.
interrupting me.
Sir, here's your reset form at 9:30.
So what ends up happening, sir, is that people who are in custody, sometimes their cases take precedent. And the reason why it takes precedent is because their cases are older and because the jail is overcrowded. Now, as you may or may not be aware, I call the docket all the time at 9 a.m. And sometimes when I call the docket at 9 a.m., defense attorneys are not here. Your attorney knows when he has not been here at 9 a.m. And then you have to wait. And you
Judge,
need
you're
to
aware
be
that every
here.
court starts at 9.
And you need to
I have
be
other
here.
cases.
And you need to be here at 9. So when your attorney is somewhere at another court, you know what ends up happening? Your attorney has made the choice to have you sit here and go to another court before
Well,
coming
that's not
here.
exactly true
You
because all of
understand?
those courts got
All right,
prisoners
good
at
luck
top
to
level.
you.
All
Thank
of us
you.
got
Thank you,
recalled
sir.
today.
Thank you,
Right,
sir.
Judge? So, I mean, what did we get?
Have a nice afternoon, sir.
I mean, that's the reason I don't come to your court at 9. Because I know in another court,
Sir,
something's
here's your
actually
reset.
incredible. Your court's in exactly the same
Sir.
jurisdiction.
Right, this way.
Don't think it's over yet because this guy still doesn't know when to stop. Judge Boyd is trying to move on to the next case, but he's hanging around like a bad punchline. Sir, you've already embarrassed yourself in front of everyone. Please stop loitering. No one's about to hand you a redemption.
Hi. All right, Mr. Guzman. Yes. All right. So before the interpreter came, and correct me if I'm wrong, your attorneys came forward to let me know that they just received a new indictment. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And so that indictment, excuse me. Step away.
I was doing what the court ordered me to do, checking on the discovery.
All right. So what ended up happening is your attorneys. All right. Boy, things have really changed the way people treat people, which I find very odd.
Let's recap this mess. Lawyer shows up late like it's not a big deal, throws a fit when the judge doesn't drop everything for him, and totally loses it when she calls him out. Judge Boyd mentioned she had 40 cases that day. This courtroom runs on order, not vibes. He expected VIP treatment like it's a brunch reservation, not a courtroom session. And when reality hit, he melted down like a kid without his afternoon juice box. Honestly, If you can't keep your composure in court, maybe reconsider law. Altogether, I'm fully Team Judge Boyd, but what do you think? Was there any excuse for this courtroom meltdown? Hit that like, subscribe for more wild court moments, and drop your take in the comments. Thanks for watching. More chaos coming soon.